Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are back on the dev server and we're having a look at a new SPAA that is coming in for China. This is the HQ-17 and to be quite honest, it's pretty similar to the Tor, which you can find right here. There's some slight differences between the vehicle, but their general purpose is pretty much the same and the way that they play is also very similar. The HQ-17 has 9mm of armor, so you're not going to really survive anything that's going to hit you. Oh, by the way, in the tech tree, you'll actually find it after the Tor M1, which shouldn't be a surprise, but I think it's worth having a look at. But yeah, it has 9mm of armor all over, 6mm on the turret, so this is not designed to be shot. This is a vehicle that is designed to destroy whatever is hitting it before it gets hit itself. And whether it's going to be able to do that or not, it's going to be interesting to see. You can see with the Tors, it has the setup of the missiles. The HQ-17 is exactly the same. So, how does this thing differ from the Tor? Now, the major differences are the radar. This one has the tracking radar, the 9K330TT. The HQ-17 has the HQ-17TT. And you can see here, it can have 2 DL targets. It has an IRST type radar or track radar, then it has a 21-kilometer range. So the Tor M1 has the radar TV tracker, which is quite a large deal. It has a longer range that it can track, a shorter range that it can track, and also the DL targets too, which means that it can track 2 targets at the same time. And that's one of the features that the Tor M1 has, which is kind of fun, and the HQ-17 does too. You can technically go after 2 targets at once. Whether that's feasible or not, especially when it comes to War Thunder and how CAS works, you know, that's another kettle of fish, but technically it does work. Then, on the vehicle, you also have a search radar, which is different too. So with HQ, you have the HQ-17 TA model. This one has a good range, good search zone of 360 by 60, look down, and also IFF. Whereas for the 9K330, which is on the Tor M1, it's 27 kilometers, 360 by 64. So technically a larger search zone, but also a lot less range, meaning that people can get above the radar before you can detect them, which is one of the issues that high tier has in terms of spotting targets. So the other part, which is kind of cool, is they've updated the DM of these machines, and the HQ-17 is a new one. Here's the FCS for it, and also the electronic equipment. I like the idea of modeling all of this stuff as if it's not just going to die from anything that exists, but it does look really cool, and it does have a 4-man crew too. You have the driver in the front here, and then also you have 3 people here, which get the missile system rolling and rocking. You also have a beefy engine in the back, a 780 horsepower diesel engine for this 40-ton vehicle, and a transmission, which means that you can run away just in case the enemy somehow missed the massive behemoth that you are. It also has a power system for all of the other parts, and of course the elevation and horizontal mechanisms in there too. Now, the other part which is different on the HQ-17 is the missile itself. The missile is the HQ-17, just like all of the rest of this vehicle, it's named after it. And what this missile does is it's a SACLOS missile, so you guide it with the mouse, and it has a missile guidance time of 27 seconds, a launch range of 15 kilometers, and also a maximum speed of 885 meters per second. So it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it does go quite a long distance. The Tor M1's missile, the 9M331, actually only has 12 kilometers of launch range and 21 seconds of missile guidance time and 850 meters per second of maximum speed. So pretty much everything else is the same in terms of how the missile is actually going to act. Like the HQ-17's missile is a little bit smaller, but not a huge amount. And the penetration is basically the same, and the proximity is the same too. So overall, what you are looking at from these two vehicles is the HQ-17 doing better because of the fact that it's a bit faster and it can go a bit longer compared to the Tor M1. Now, this vehicle also has thermals and it has scouting because it cannot defend itself from the ground because of how the missiles are fired, and it does have artillery support too. what you may also notice is it doesn't have any smoke grenades. So this vehicle cannot kind of run away and shield itself, but I suppose you probably can't anyway because it is so big. The vehicle is just absolutely massive. And in general, one of the things that we've talked about that really has needed to be done in War Thunder is, of course, the kind of bridging the gap between the CAS elements in the game and the AA elements in the game, trying to bring the AA elements forward while the CAS has just got more and more out of control. And this is at least a step in the right direction for that and made it a little bit easier in terms of doing it. So if you want to see how the missile fires, it fires upwards and then it fires away. So just to kind of show you if I can, up and go, which is really cool. The Tor M1 in the game already does this. And a little bit of trivia as well. One of the interesting things about the Tor M1 was Gaijin actually said that they were going to add it, or a Tor variant, to the Russians, and they just never did, and instead added the Panzer, which is absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, always interesting. And as I said, you can technically use it to go after ground targets, but it's something that really isn't going to work very well, especially since it has to reset and go in like that. So, yeah, not too good. The vehicle is more designed for long-range attacks and going after specific, stuff from there. It turns an okay amount. It would be nice if it turned a little bit better. And with the thermals, it is quite easy to see vehicles from miles away. But just to kind of show you what I mean about it, so you can see here, the actual maneuverability of the missile isn't that bad. It's still not as good as a few other machines missiles out there, but it does the job, and that's pretty much what you need from a vehicle like this. And the really cool thing is, guess what? You get an ammo box, so you can always just put that down and get yourself some more ammo for this vehicle without having to go to capture points. So the vehicle is looking good for an AA. The question is if it's enough or not. And that is a question as old as time when it comes to War Thunder. Is it able to functionally deal with all of the AAs? And, well, not all of the AAs, but all of the CAS elements that are coming in. And the answer is simple. No, it can't. So, hopefully, we get more and more and more better and better machines. Or hopefully Gaijin figures out a nice medium between reducing the spawn costs of vehicles like this, which I feel like you can't really do since they're so low anyway, but also making it so CAS isn't as effective, maybe increasing its spawn costs a little bit. The HQ-17 is a sign of a new era in War Thunder, with more and more of these vehicles being added. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.